I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are joined by Kharne83. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, please introduce yourself to everybody.
So I am Kharne, VTubing's resident grumpy backlog warrior. I've got in my head to stream my backlog on Twitch as a VTuber.
Yeah.
In my 40s. Send help.
Yeah. Oh, you're still a whippersnapper as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to hit 60 this year, so there you go. I can still be your idol. That's okay.
It's actually happened. I found someone older than me on the internet.
Yeah, well, you know, I tell these young, super young people that I actually had a Pong console at home when I was a kid. A real Sears Pong console. And it worked for a long, long time. And I don't think anybody can play Pong these days.
You know, one of those things that only played Pong.
Yes. Well, it also...
Yeah, I think I've seen those.
It kind of tried to play other games, but it was still just Pong. Hockey, no, it's Pong.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
There's it's variants of Pong.
Yes. Oh, two paddles. It's still Pong.
Yeah.
So, what got you started on the VTubing thing?
So I had already been streaming for, it was either 1 or 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking I was going no webcam, no on-screen presence, thought I should change that. And I could just get a webcam, but I realized if I set that up, any random person who just stumbles into my channel could just look right into my room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. We're not doing that.
Yeah, no.
just get B-Roy, throw something together.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. If
you're on screen, nobody's looking in. Good.
Yeah. If folks saw the room I was in right now, they would send help. they'd start a FundMe campaign. Help.
For me, the big thing is winter, wherein I turn less into a person, more into a slightly mobile pile of blankets.
That's right. That's right. I'm in here in a room right now where we've just kind of dumped everything, including me. and hopefully it provides enough sound dampening to work. It hasn't been too bad so far, which is pretty good. So you were content creating before. What types of content creation?
I was just streaming stuff on Twitch.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, it was mostly just random games from my backlog.
Mm-hmm. Now, give me an example of one of those games.
Well, right now I am somewhere in the middle of the Yakuza series. I'm streaming Yakuza 5.
Mm-hmm.
I have 8 long ways to go. I'll get to 7 eventually. I've done the Mass Effect trilogy. I've recently finished Dragon Quest XI, which took me a bit over a year.
Wow. Whoa.
Which may or may not be the longest I've spent doing one game. It's either that or Neo 2, which also took about a year.
Sometimes it just goes that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one game when I was growing up. The first computer I had was the Commodore 64, which kids may not realize it today, but boy, that was a beauty. It was so nice. And for the time, it was tremendous and fairly cheap. So I got Might and Magic 1. Not Heroes of Might and Magic, but the game Might and Magic. And we couldn't, for the life of us, find how to finish that game. Between 3 people playing at the same time, we had no idea. So we just kept going round and round and round. Finally, I went and bought a bunch of graph paper and intricately diagnosed and graphed every single map in the game until I finally found the one spot that would allow me to win. And I was so overpowered, it was nothing at the end. I was like level 700 or something by the time I was done. That took a good year.
Yeah. Especially since what I know of that game, it is designed to mess with your attempts to map it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to
teleport traps. Good times.
Oh, yeah, lots of them. And still, when we found that there was a guide to it, which back then we did have guides to the games, not the internet to look up everything.
Yeah. Free game facts.
Yeah. It didn't have half the things I had mapped. My map was better than their map. I'm like, okay, that's pretty nice. And I never played it again because I had already played it for too long. When you're done with a game from your backlog, do you ever go back to it, or do you just put an X through it and go to the next one?
Uh, for my streams, no. I actually do have a document showing things I may or may not get to eventually, and most importantly, it lists every game I've cleared up. I'm at like 61, 62 by now.
No, dang, that's pretty
I'm
good.
considering rerunning something once I hit 100.
Yeah. Well, I mean that'll be a big celebration anyway.
Yeah.
And do you know the game that you would run again in your mind?
I can think of a couple that might be worth poking. Control, because I didn't 100% it.
Mm-hmm.
Another run of Outer Worlds, maybe. I'm probably going to another run of West of Loathing.
Oh yeah.
There's a few options. I'd probably put it to vote.
Yeah, West of Loathing. That looked like such a fun game. Again, one of those that I would want to have to go through and find every single thing that happens in that game, and not even really worry about the plot because the plot's pretty thin. But it's a lot of fun. What is your favorite type of game to stream?
I've been leaning rather heavily towards RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like I said, I've done. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some people who just hate RPGs, and I don't understand that at all. How do you hate something like that?
It works for me. I like them, and it helps with commentary. I do not have the biggest audience, so the Minecraft stream would be a little awkward,
I made another block.
Yeah.
I killed another sheep. That would be mine. I'm not allowed to play Minecraft anymore because I killed my grandson's sheep. Yeah. You can't play anymore, Papa. Thank you. That's just fine. Yeah, it does make a difference in that the turn-based RPG type things makes it a lot easier to interact, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Well, now, in games that you can pause, I mean, even Fallout games you can pause and talk to people, but some of these, like these horror games, would be almost impossible for me anyway. In between my screams, it would be pretty tough to do. Do you get into horror games at all?
Not exactly. I've streamed a couple things that kind of go into that territory.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? The Suffering I tried once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that game. Yeah. Just the name alone makes me want to run away from it.
Yeah, I do. It's actually a pretty interesting game.
Yeah.
More than a bit edgelord, but has some clever ideas. Particularly the enemy designs have a neat theme to them.
That's an indie game, isn't it?
It's a really old game.
Oh, game, yeah, yeah. And would you rather have an old indie game or an old franchise game?
My preferences in our games are pretty broad, so it's pretty much both are good.
Yeah.
I've also done some old stuff. You mentioned Might and Magic earlier.
Yeah.
Because it turns out one of my favorite RPGs on PC is World of Zine, and I actually did stream a playthrough of that.
Oh my gosh, I never got. I think I got through one side, but not the other. And that's for folks who don't know this. This was a bold concept for them at the time. They had two different games at the same time, basically. One side that was dark and one side that was light, and in different things happened. It was very advanced for its time, and not the easiest game to play either. to work your way up if you didn't have a guide for it. So how long did it take for you to get through?
I think it was I was only playing like once a week. It took maybe a couple months.
Yeah. Did you what was the toughest part of that for you? The final fight, or was there a particular monster that ate your lunch?
I will admit, I knew about a way to cheese the Zine fight, and I actually explained to chat, I am doing this because the alternative is more annoying than anything.
Yeah.
And because doing it is just what it involves is actually just pretty funny.
Yeah. There's a few things. one of the things about those games is there's always a few things you can do to
Yeah.
shorten it up a little bit. And I actually found a way in Might and Magic 8 where I could skip the entire thing and get, flying and invisibility and all that stuff almost before I did the first thing. And all it took was a walk on water spell. And it gets you to the end of this thing before you're supposed to get there, and then there you go. You're off on your own.
Yeah, 6, 7, and 8 are actually on the list right now.
Oh yeah. Well, and those are the ones I play. I still play them over and over again.
Yeah.
And then they slow my computer down to a crawl, but I don't care. I still play them, and I know them by the back of my hand at this point, but I don't care. Those are comfort games for me. Would you call any of those older games a comfort game for you?
Not too sure. Like, where I'm really focused on my games right now can shift about. So sometimes I'll start leaning into old stuff for whatever reason, and I might end up suddenly looking somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right now, I've been playing a lot of Luck Be a Landlord.
Oh my gosh. I have it on my computer and my phone. If I'm out somewhere and somebody has too long a pause between sentences, I will play a little bit of Luck Be a Landlord.
Yeah, it's quickly becoming I want to do something, but I only got about 10 minutes kind of game.
Yes, yes. I actually because it's a constantly changing game. It's one of those games where the developer keeps tweaking it a little bit here and there. But
yeah.
Early on, I found a way to make the score go all the way across the screen. I had just the most ridiculous combination, and I sent it to the guy who made the game. He said it was the most cursed thing he'd ever seen.
What did you do?
I broke it. I didn't break it. It was there. There was so many multiples on the screen at the time. I had all of the 13 wild card cats, and I just kept going. And every time I would get the multiple of 13 times 13, it would go up another 13 times whatever the number was to multiply on it. And I had that with rabbits, and it was just ridiculous. It was just over the moon. And the numbers that were coming up were impossible. They didn't even have names by the time they got it off the screen. So he eventually put in the M mark, so you don't have to have all those numbers on the screen. I'm like, no, man, that's.
Were you starting to get scientific notation?
Yeah, scientific notation. I'm like, no, man, I want the numbers to go so far you don't even see the last number on there. But that is a very fun game. Once you get hooked on that, gee, me Christmas. So are you? Do you kind of keep it at level 20, or have you got there yet?
I've actually reached level 20.
Mm.
I've reached floor 20, beat it a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah. Once I got up there, I just left it there because when you go back to 1 and you're like, boy, this is easy. And then it's a big difference on 20, especially when they start throwing in those extra things. The landlord decides, here's an extra, destruction. I didn't save anything to get rid of it. And there goes my pirate. It's hard to describe unless somebody's played it, but it's and
even if you played it, you'll not understand it for a while.
No. But there are the great thing about it is the math, and people say, no, you don't make me do math. No, but it all works together. There's synergy and there's different types of builds you can make. I once won with all bears and beehives. It just and it worked for some reason. You can do it a lot of different ways and come up with the end. But once you're done, just hit the button to start over again. Start with 0. It's one of those games that I'm going to have on my phone until my phone dies, which I hope is not soon. So I would call that one a comfort game for sure.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
are there games that you're looking forward to that you haven't gotten yet?
Fantasy Life 1 is coming out soon. That
Mm,
has my attention.
mm. Is that a game that
And
you
not
would you go into that and start streaming it right away, or would you play a little off camera?
I, I usually will not stream newly released games. Partially because the way I handle streaming means it's rare I get an opening where I can just put in a new game.
Right.
And in many cases, I want to wait a bit, let some patches get out. Is there going to be DLC? Let that release. We'll get it later.
So it's a good thing you had Genshin Impact. You'd be DLCing and you'd be waiting until the next millennium. They just keep adding
Yeah.
DLCs. It keeps those games alive. What do you think about that? You've been around these games for a while. We're seeing more and more games, instead of coming out with new games, they're just coming up with new DLCs instead.
So I've seen some games that handle it in different ways. And one thing I'm aware of with some games that's getting weird and I don't really see mentioned much is the long tail.
Mm.
Because I played some games where, yeah, it's still getting poked at and updated a couple of years down the line,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not necessarily what you'd call a live service.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think every game needs to be one, but I'm not strictly against it. I mean, I like Stellaris, okay?
Right. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it has saved some games. I mean, No Man's Sky, I think, got saved by it for
Yeah.
sure. A lot of people are enjoying that now. When at first everybody was like, it looks pretty. I'm not playing it again."
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Though I do warn, No Man's Sky is a bit of the odd man out. Please do not expect every game please do not go into every game with a disastrous launch and say, but No Man's Sky, but No Man's
yeah. Oh
Sky.
no, they put a lot of work into that to get it
Yeah.
to get it where it was. They were as disappointed as everybody else, I think. And a rare instance of the people putting it out actually listening to people and coming up with it. And I would like to play it myself eventually someday if I ever have a computer that would run it. Um, but that type of thing, there are some games now that are relying on it, which, if I look at it as like a business, putting out a game with a slightly different way to play it may be more risky than putting out a DLC for a game, like say Fallout 76. I mean, people said, "Oh, that's not the same way we play Fallout," and they hated it. If it had come out as a DLC, maybe people would have bought it.
Maybe.
And it's a question of, people like the familiarity, but they want different familiarity. That makes no sense. They want to play it the same way, but they want something different to play it with. And if you change up something enough, then the franchise is gone. You'll eventually find the last Might and Magic that came out, number 9, which is absolutely terrible.
The way I've summed it up is 6 most would consider the best. Some like me would actually prefer Zine, but it's going to be one or the other. Some 7 is about as good. Some might like it a bit more because of the changes. Some might like it a bit less.
Yeah.
8's a bit of a step backwards, but still good. Yeah. We're not that far back.
Yeah.
9 we don't talk about.
No, 9 is the black sheep of the family, and I'm not. I understand.
Same
I guess
with Ultima.
I kind of know what they were trying to get at, but boy, it ruined everything. It just unplayable for me. I couldn't even get started on it, and I had played every Might and Magic game up to that point. Sometimes not all the way through. Might and Magic 2 is interesting in itself. You get lost in that one really fast.
Yeah. I've heard that's the one where the best way to play it is you really need to have beat the first and port your party over.
Oh yeah, you have to do that. Otherwise, you're just starting from, and the maps are confusing as all, even more confusing than 1 is 2. But my favorite is probably 7. 6 is good, but I just know 7 like the back of my hand, and I could do everything with it. But it's a question of taste, I guess, or whatever your taste is as far as that goes. Is there a game that you enjoy playing that maybe isn't the most popular game around, but you really enjoy it?
That can be a surprising number of games for me.
Like what?
Like, let me see. Recently, I actually did try Skull and Bones and realized, nah, I don't actually hate this. I realize internet law demands I hate it, but no, not really.
At least indifference.
Yeah,
It's raised up from hate to
it's
indifference.
it's also because I did not go in expecting Black Flag 2,
Oh
and
yeah,
actually, once I understood what I was looking at, kind of neat.
yeah.
You ever hear of Freelancer?
No, I have not. What's that about?
It's or like what would also be Wing Commander Privateers, another old one that's
Mm,
kind of similar.
mm-hmm. I've heard of those.
Or
Yeah.
something recently, more recent would be like Everspace 2.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, those big space sandboxes.
Right, right.
This is Skull and Bones is actually a lot like that, except high seas.
Mm. Well, that sounds like it'd be a really good
It's
concept.
it's the same broad idea. Get your
Yeah,
ship, go on missions, really build up the ship, get it better weapons, harbor it, stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I mean, that sounds like a really good concept to me.
Yeah.
Did the islands change when you had a different game? Did the setup change, or were you had the same setup every time?
I will every once in a while find a better weapon to put in, or
Mm.
there's a couple at some point I was saving up to try to get a better ship.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I was talking about the where the islands were. Do they move it around, or is it the same map every time you play?
It's fixed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get some of these games like um, oxygen not required or something like that.
Oxygen
Um,
not included.
included, that's right. And I haven't played that in a long time because it stopped working on my computer. But you could get different, yeah, different roles each time depending on how your thing's set up. That made it a little interesting, more interesting to me. But I really do have to get that back on, and I hope it's whatever messed up on my computer is fixed by now because I really did enjoy playing that game. Um, but there are other games like that too. Um, but that sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like something you could play. What was the thing that people didn't like about it?
We have Skull and Bones.
Uh, yeah.
As far as I can tell, most of it was basically this isn't Black Flag 2.
Oh well. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I know. Once I learned, like, internet law declares I must hate this, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to bother with the details.
yeah, yeah. That's that's the same
Hate
thing.
this or else. Message received, Lord Inquisitor. Thank
Yes,
you. You can
yeah.
put the bolter down now.
Oh, absolutely. It's like you get movie critics where I went to see Transformers 2 with my stepdaughter because we wanted to see things blow up and want to see robots fight. We went there to see Shakespeare, okay? We want to see Shakespeare. I want to see things blow up. I know it's got bad reviews. Don't care. I want to see things blow up. I take it as it comes. I'm not looking for an Oscar winner. I'm looking for robot heads rolling down the street, okay? Sometimes you just have to look for yourself and make your own decisions on these things.
I've had more than a couple games where I played. I think this is stupid. This is insane. I need to stream this so I can inflict it on people.
Name one. Name one of those you've done.
Oh wait, I got Steam open. Let me look up its full title, which should tell you a lot, really.
Oh yes. If it has to be a full title, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. The game was Slayer's X Terminal Aftermath or Vengeance of the Slayer. That is actually its full title.
Yeah, yeah. And that could just from the title alone.
It's the best way I could sum it up is it's a first-person shooter as dreamed up by an edgelord from like the early noughts or late 90s.
Oh Lord.
That time I was, or I think I've summed it up to someone else. That time I was a 90s edgelord and maybe saw The Matrix that one time.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. The title sounds like some really bad, you know, F grade movie that you'd find in a beta at a flea market.
They do lean into it. It is a very fun game.
Oh yeah, they play into it
It is.
then. Yeah,
Yeah, it's basically the whole joke.
yeah. It's like a Joe Estevez movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of you know what you're getting with a Joe Estevez movie, and he goes right along with it. It's perfectly fine. And there's just some games that are so simple and fun that you don't care, and that's and I hope that people don't miss out on the fun that they can have with these games. Um, and you're kind of bringing some of these to light, aren't you?
Yeah, I actually run a little hashtag during like the major Steam sales.
Mm. And so when you go to a Steam sale, do you buy everything that's on sale, or do you hold back?
I'll think about like what am I looking for right now, or is there anything really interesting, especially if I had interest and I know it doesn't go on sale very often.
Yeah, yeah. If something goes on sale every week, is it really on sale?
Yeah, yeah, sometimes I'll be a decision where it's like, yeah, this goes on sale often enough.
Yeah,
Wait a while.
yeah. Yeah, well, that's when I got the Fallout package. It was all like $1 each. I'm like, I'm buying that sucker.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't play it for 20 years, I'm still going to buy it so I can have it in 20 years. But some of these games, like that have 0 ratings, and now they're on sale for $29. Yeah, well, they can stay that way. I don't need to try that one. I don't need to prove somebody wrong for $30. Um, it sometimes they price themselves out of it. Has there been a game that you bought that you played and immediately thought, "Oh, what a mistake"?
Uh, Let me make sure I have its name right. Yeah, it's Perimeter 2.
Hmm. Perimeter 2.
2.
What was bad about it?
So mostly the first game was actually really, really interesting. It's a very bizarre strategy game based heavily about how like you terraform terrain, your units can morph between different forms. It's very interesting if you can put up with how very weird it is. The sequel kind of flattens everything in a terrible way.
Oh yeah, yeah. So did somebody else do the sequel as opposed to the original?
You know what? Again, I have.
And sometimes that happens.
Let me
Somebody
because
takes
let me
it.
look that up. I am
Yeah,
actually in a position where I can look it up.
yeah. Sometimes you get that where somebody takes over and says, "Yeah, we can cut corners here and there and that," and they'll still buy it because they bought the first one. Um, and there's there's a few companies out there that can be accused of that. Uh, the cutting corners type stuff. Cut out a skeleton of a game and use the popularity of the first game to trade on it. Any luck?
Uh, can't really tell.
Mm,
Steam says the first game was by KD Lab
mm.
and the sequel was by KDV Games,
Yeah, well,
which might be a different name for the same company or it could be someone else.
yeah, I imagine it's probably the same game. So since the difference is V, I will blame V. It's V's fault. Whoever V was, don't care. Frankie Valley, don't care. It's their fault. V. It's V for vengeance. V for messing up this game. Were you playing it online when you realized it was bad, or were you playing it offline?
Oh, this was years and years before I even started streaming, so it
Ah,
was just me on my own.
and it hurt you so bad that you remember it.
Yeah,
It was just a flat experience, huh?
yeah. Everything about it was just, huh, this isn't good.
Was it competent? I mean,
I mean, it wasn't like absolutely broken. This is going to destroy my hard drive if I uninstall it. If
yeah,
I don't uninstall it now, kind of thing. It
yeah,
worked. It's just no good.
yeah, yeah. I used to do pro wrestling here locally on local cable channel. I was the play-by-play guy for it, and a couple of folks I knew went out and had a match, and it was a match. And when they were done, they came back and asked me afterwards, after the taping was done, said, "What did I think of it?" I said, "Well, you certainly were competent." And they looked at me like, "Yeah, we know." No, nothing big, nothing great. It wasn't. You weren't wrong. It just was there. It was a cheese sandwich without the cheese. And sometimes you just get games like that. Was there any game you were really disappointed with when you were looking forward to it really badly and then put it in? It's like, oh no.
Not really.
Yeah.
It's not that I can readily remember right now.
Yeah. You've beaten that memory down.
Mm.
If that comes up again, it's just like, no, please, no. But I imagine there's been a lot of games that you've tried and you've been pleasantly surprised.
Trying to think on this. Was there anything recently?
Mm. Well, you mentioned the pirate game is one, but
because I know there's some games where I will play it a bit, kind of forget for a while, come back. It's like, why did I forget about this?
yeah, kind of pick it up a little later on down the line. Starts slow,
Yeah.
but picks up later. Are you a person that'll go back and play a game a lot after you're done?
Depends a lot on the game. Like, I'm done effectively with Luck Be a Landlord, but I'm still poking at it anyway.
Well, yeah, there's still achievements to make. There's all sorts of things, and you could just, again, it'll kill a half hour when you're waiting for the dentist or whatever,
Yeah.
or somebody else's dentist or something like that. It's just, especially now that it's on the phone, it's such an addiction.
Yeah.
It is sad but true. So what have you got any plans for different types of streams on your channel, or are you satisfied with what you got right now?
Now, well, right now my schedule is a bit locked up because I have the project of going through the Yakuza series, which
Right.
I'm only at 5, and I think there's like 6, 7 games after that one.
Right.
I started doing a playthrough of Kingdom Hearts. I'm only at Chain of Memories, which would be the second game we're doing. I've got the rest of that to get through.
Oh, that's a ways.
Yeah. I've got 2 co-op collabs going. We're probably going to go on to other stuff as I finish those.
Yeah.
And the other game, which I only just started streaming, what was it? It was Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, now I don't know anything about that one. What's that about?
Open world game where you play as a samurai.
Uh-huh.
I've had it described to me as the best Ubisoft game not made by Ubisoft. Which, yes, the funny thing is, despite coming out quite a ways before it, you can see where AC Shadows kind of takes a bit after this.
Yeah. And it's an open world. Is it a linear storyline game, or can you do some side quests?
They have like a bunch of different stories ongoing, and you can pick up to either one.
Oh.
It's like mission chains, basically.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. That'll keep you. If you're stuck on one, you can pop to the other one and go on that for a while, and build up ridiculously high so you can finally beat this one on this side. All right. Is it an RPG type?
I mean, there is some skill trees and but it is primarily an action game.
Mm. Were you somebody who played Dungeons and Dragons when you were younger?
Played a little in high school.
Yeah.
Have a lot of games based on it.
Yeah. Oh.
Remember Pool of Radiance?
Yep. Oh yeah, I had that.
Yeah,
game.
I poked at that a little bit.
That was one I had, and Pool of Radiance. I had the Sigils game. I had a bunch of the silver, or not silver, gold box games that were Dungeons and Dragons.
You can still get those today.
Yeah. Oh boy, I played the one over and over again, and I had everything. Again, I played it all the way through where it hardly would run anymore on the old Commodore. I had my characters built up so high it was ridiculous, and I wouldn't start new characters. I just keep the old ones. I got the highest you could get was like level 15 anything, and a level 15 magician character can do a lot of damage.
I think that's back when you had level limits by race, which was kind of annoying.
Oh yeah, you did, and it was easier to figure out. I'll tell you that. Now you have to have the computer dedicated to it. When I was playing as a youngster, we had 2 books. That was it when we were playing the tabletop game. It was 2 books. And we had orcs. Okay, we didn't have we had orcs and half orcs. We didn't have like quarter orcs.
Back when Dwarf was a class.
That's right. It was fun back then. But that is the genesis for so many games. Any game that's an RPG has to go back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, more or less.
Yeah. I mean the general, stat building and wealth grabbing and looting and all that stuff has to go back to that, I would think. Um, I would know where else it would go back to. Uh, it just seemed like a good game to have on it, and I would really like to see somebody play one of those old gold box games after playing um, after playing one of the dungeon crawlers that are out there now all the way through, and then in this one you're just kind of getting text based.
I think I have like yeah, I think gold box games are on the list. I'd have to figure out the gold box companion and how to put, if I want to put any of that on stream or not.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them are pretty tough. I mean, you'd really have to slow everything down because I actually saw somebody try to play one of these games, and even slowing down the computer, the effects of spells were so fast that you couldn't really tell what happened. Like boom, 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 instead of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was so fast, and the other folks would move too so quickly. It'd be pretty tough to do. So you might have to find a couple different ways to get around that. But
Well, any older games I'm playing are generally like, you're familiar with GOG?
no, I'm not.
Okay, they're an online store. They sell video games digitally, not through Steam.
Oh no,
And their
GOG.
gimmick is
I know what you're talking about
Yeah.
now because
Okay.
you said GOG.
Yeah.
I always called them GOG.
Yeah, because any old games I'm playing, it's probably going to be one of their digital re-releases that's already tweaked to just run.
Yeah. That's what I got for those Might and Magic games. That's where I got them.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I ran them as far as I could on the computers I owned, and now they won't even, you don't even have a place to put the disc, so you can't even really start it. Yeah, if you can go to one of those sites, they've usually got it tweaked where you can run it pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not a sponsor or anything, but if you are looking for something that's a little older, something from your childhood, you might check them out. They might just have it. Um, there's a few games from back then I would like to see remade today. One of them was a game called Road War 2000, which I just enjoyed so much on the old Commodore. But if you try to play it now off an emulator, off the there's a website that has all these old games on it. It just won't run right. It's too fast, and you can't enjoy it. But there's some concepts there that were really good, and should be picked up by some of these independent guys, I think.
I've noticed ever since GOG launched, there's a couple companies whose gimmick is basically getting old games back. Night Dive is probably the most well-known right now.
Yeah.
There's also, I don't know how it's pronounced, or if it's pronounced, I know it's spelled SNEG, I think.
Wow.
They actually used to work for GOG directly. They've kind of gone independent.
Yeah. And then they're trying to remake these games or fix them up.
They're getting, well, Night Dive is the one who's been doing remaster versions, but it's mostly with some of them just a matter of get the game, tweak it so it runs, get it out there.
Yeah. There's some of those games would be really tough to do, but others are just fine. Back in those days, we could go to a grocery store and pick up $5 discs that had 10 games on them, and maybe 7 of them would run, but you'd play them. They weren't, big sellers. You'll never find them again. There's nowhere to find these games. But they were just like shareware and things. But they were fun to play, and I would wish there were more folks doing like that today. So what is up next for you? I mean, you mentioned that you've kind of going through this co-op. Has it been easy for you to find co-ops to play with?
Surprisingly, yes. Although I will admit, I've kind of, with all my co-op stuff, I've kind of weirdly stumbled backwards into it.
Hey, as long as you're into it.
Yeah, one of the things I'm playing right now is Monster Hunter World, and the way that kind of initially started was, you know about Code Vein?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Code Vein is related in multiple ways to a series called God Eater.
Okay.
And near the end of the game, while the credits are rolling, I offhand mentioned, well, now that I beat this, maybe I should do diligence and stream the God Eater trilogy. A friend of mine is watching it, I'm mentions in chat.
Yeah,
that one's good to co-op, and I end up saying, yeah, okay, you want to co-op, I'd be down for it. And we ended up playing the God Eater trilogy. And then we somehow drew 2 other people in for, what was it? I want to say it was Mercenary Kings.
Oh, that's cool. That kind of happened organically, didn't it?
Yeah, which is surprising because like the stuff I've ended up co-oping, it's not Repo, it's not Marvel Rivals, it's not like the really easy, oh yeah, everyone's got this kind of game.
Right. Yeah, you've got to have everybody have that particular game in order to co-op with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best kind though, because then you got people who are really interested in it, and not people who are just
because
Yeah.
I got a different group, well, mostly different. That friend of mine's in both. We're streaming World War Z, which is probably going to finish up soon. We're contemplating what we're going to go on to next, if anything.
Yeah. World War Z2.
Technically, that exists. That's Space Marine 2.
Oh no! I was trying to joke. Please. Hey, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you, and I hope we get you on again before the end of the year and find out how things are going. We're going to have all sorts of links to get to what Kharne's got going on, and thank you again so much for being on. It's a pleasure.
No problem.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.